Hello, I'd like to talk to you today about Japanese incense, which I have a collection of here. But first, I'd like to tell you about how I, as a traveler in Japan, first found out about Japanese incense. And that story starts with these three boxes, which come from temples. So, I'm traveling in Japan, so typically, what do travelers do? They'll go to a bunch of temples, and I did that. And I noticed that at the place where they would sell like the charms, like the omamori, sometimes they would also sell these boxes, which I found out has incense. But not just any incense, it's the particular incense that they burn inside of that temple. So, that's not usually the first thing that I think about when I think about temples, but when you enter the hall, it's a different kind of smell because they're constantly burning incense in there, and each temple will have a particular mixture of incense that they'll burn. So each temple is a little bit different in how it smells inside, and sometimes they would sell that scent. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I started to collect from a few different temples the incense. But I started to wonder, like, what makes these different varieties smell different? Like, what kind of different ingredients are they even using? So I started to get curious about that, and I wanted to learn. So I started to look for specialty incense shops, which there's plenty of in Japan. And I went there. They have like a bunch of boxes. It's all like these like stick incense, and I noticed that they would fall into one of three categories: either byakudan, jinko, or kyara. And at the time, I didn't know how to say any of those words. I just saw the kanji, like the Japanese characters written on the like the labels. But I found out later that byakudan means sandalwood, and jinko means aloes wood, and kyara means the highest quality of aloes wood in an old classification system. So sandalwood, it's a fairly rare wood, but people prize it for the aromatic value. Like, it has a certain scent. If it burns, it has something inside it that just makes it smell good. When it comes to aloes wood, I found that to be very interesting because it's actually made from a particular tree that you need to give a particular fungal infection, and then the tree's immune response to that fungus is to produce a resin. And when you harvest a tree, it has that resin in it, and when you burn it, that resin gives the scent. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and it's actually very rare, depending on how like concentrated the resin is. I was going to this incense shop, and I was going up the stairs, and I saw this display case, and it had like a chunk of wood, maybe like 1 or 2 feet long, something like that. It was like very weirdly shaped, but I looked at the price tag, and it was like $100,000 or something crazy like that. And I kept going up the stairs, and they had this like room where there were all these like little cabinets, and then I was like looking through them, and I saw one, and it was like a little bag of like, it was like a bunch of little wood chips, like tiny wood chips, and the bag was like, it was like maybe like a couple of inches, and it was like $5,000. And it was like, I later found out that all of those cabinets are actually used for ingredients for kodo, which is like a Japanese incense art, kind of like how you have kado, like flower arranging, the art of that, and sado, like tea ceremony. And you'd actually have kodo, where it's like an incense ceremony, like an incense art. And unfortunately, I didn't really get to try it. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, they had all the tools and stuff for it. I went and saw the stick incense, and I started kind of impulse buying it. I also started getting some like incense holders and stuff. But I think maybe I should get into that now. Okay, I've moved over here so you can see things a little better. I have things sorted out. So these are the sandalwood based incense sticks, aloes wood, the ones I got from the temple. I have some Indian ones as well. We'll talk about that. Let's start over here. This is pretty basic. This is the biggest box I have. It's pretty fairly inexpensive, maybe like $25 roughly for this. I open up this paper and there's a bunch of incense sticks. I mean, this is so much. Even if I burned one a day, this would probably last me a while. I'll take one out here. I want to compare this to the Indian incense stick. So, main difference here is that the Indian incense stick has this like piece of wood or bamboo in the middle that forms a core, whereas this one is just the incense like mixed together with a binder. So this will actually burn and produce a lot more smoke because it's also burning the middle, whereas these will produce a lot less smoke, and it's also just higher quality because the only thing that's burning is the incense as well as the binder. But also, I mean, the Indian incense, it's just super potent. I mean, the smell's like kind of hitting you in the face. I don't really like it because of that. I like the subtlety of this sandalwood. Has like a little bit of extra things added to it to give it like a bit more variety in the scent, but it's mostly just the sandalwood giving the smell. This is probably my favorite one. I like this is also based on sandalwood, but it has hinoki oil in it. So hinoki is a type of Japanese tree, Japanese cypress, and has a really nice smell. And I think that it works very well with the sandalwood smell. Just some more basic sandalwood. Now, these two here, this is probably like the dumbest impulse purchases I've made. It's definitely near the top of the list. Because like, look, this box here, this is like over $200 I paid for it. I know, it's stupid, but I mean, this stuff, it's so expensive because it's the highest, it's that kyara, it's the highest concentration of the resin in the aloes wood. And well, that resin actually makes me not like these very much. I don't like them because the resin concentration is so high that when I burn it, I mean, it smells like a kind of like a sweet caramely smell. I mean, that's the best analogy I can come up with it. While the sandalwood is kind of woody and bright, the resin is kind of sweet and heavy and like caramely. And I'm fine with that smell, but with these, it's just a little too concentrated for my taste. I mean, maybe you would like it. I can't really, transmit taste over YouTube, but that's what I think. While these two, and this sampler is actually the same brand as the first box of sandalwood here. It's just a smaller sampler, and it's of the aloes wood. But I like this because it's not as highly concentrated as the other ones, so it just appears kind of like a hint in the scent. Same with these two. I really like these because the aloes wood forms a base scent, but then some other additives are kind of contributing and harmonizing with that scent instead of just you being overpowered by this resin. And I mean, that's kind of a similarity with the Indian incense. I don't like that because it's just too powerful. I don't really like the kyara because I think it's just too powerful on just one note. But I like the sandalwood because it's just a kind of subtle, mild sort of scent. Same with these. When it comes to the temple incense, I don't really like it, honestly. It's based on sandalwood, I think, but I feel like too much of the scent is coming from whatever they add to it, and it's just not my thing. I kind of like just the plain, like, woody kind of smell. So that's what I like about the sandalwood. Maybe I'll burn a stick here to show you how the holders work. So the most basic type of holder, I just got this plate's from Spain, but the holder is just this part. I mean, it's just anything with like a hole in it that's roughly the size of the stick, and the stick goes right in there, and it sits vertically. And I can light it. I actually have this lighter, which I really like. It has the pattern, kind of like the Japanese wave pattern. It's just a Zippo lighter with a jet insert. jet flame. Yeah, I'll light it and blow it out. And then if I want to smell it more particular, I'll just waft the smoke towards me. And yeah, I can smell that. That's good. Well, yeah, that's the most basic type of holder. Usually it'll be at a slight angle. But then I also have this holder, which I really like. It just lays flat and it has this little tray inside, and then the ash should fall through. But like this one, you just lay it on. And then like that. I like this kind of aesthetic. Just on the table, you know, the smoke's coming out of the holes. It slowly move down as it burns. I like that. Now finally, we have what's probably closest to like a traditional sort of incense burner, which is basically just like a ceramic bowl. And it's filled with incense ash. And then the stick goes into the ash and that holds it in place. Now I like this because there's no cleanup involved. With the plate or the horizontal holder, you have to clean out the ash afterwards. With this, it'll burn and then the ash will fall down and then it'll just become part of the incense ash that's already holding things in place. Yeah, I wish I could share you the actual smell of it, but unfortunately through digital technology that's not possible. But yeah, maybe if you run into incense like this, or if you can get it wherever you're at, I would definitely recommend you try it out. But yeah, I hope that you maybe learned something from it, and yeah, if you're interested, give it a try.